Hello and welcome to Web of Light. I am here with none other than
Angie D'Anjou.
the lovely, young, sexy Angie D'Anjou. And Dr. Kevin. We want to welcome you back this week, and as every week, we always start with our word of wisdom, our little wow of the day, and kind of chat about what's going on. So first of all, you've been a busy girl.
Busy weekend, you too.
Yeah, well, I've been a busy boy. I suppose I could have tried to be a busy girl, but I just don't move fast in heels. I mean, whatever I do, you can only move slow in heels. So tell us, so what's up? Tell us what's going on. What's going on?
What have we been doing?
What have we been doing? What have you been doing? What are you
We
up
had
to?
a fabulous time up in Exeter. We did our little fair up there, met nice people up in that area of the state. Busy day, and then we got all like, everything's been like really, I think the full moon was just like,
Oh.
So of course we were in that energy, and that evening I get the call from my friend Lisa, who does jewelry, and hey, can you come help me up at an event up in Maine? So off we went, about a 3-hour drive. Don't even ask me where I was. It was a wonderful, it was a metaphysical and holistic fair. We had fun, and
a 3-hour cruise.
and now
Did the
I'm
weather
here.
start getting rough?
And I actually, you don't know this. This is going to be a surprise. I got the domain today for weboflightexpo.org.
Ooh, there you go.
So we're getting ready to book it all up together.
Weboflightexpo.org. I love
Yeah.
it. So so I did celebrate Samhain this weekend.
Yes, you did.
Great event. First time they've had it in Nashua. They've had the event for like 12 years. It was definitely busy. Had a great time. They had me on the main stage talking about ghosts. And I was just wound, going into a full moon.
Yeah.
And like Dorothy had mentioned to us when we did our special about Libra, Venus was moving right into Scorpio, which plays with a lot of my stuff. Yeah. So I went on that stage. I got a room full of pagans to give me an amen.
All right. That's the way to do it. Power to you.
Yeah, we were rocking and rolling. And so, and I have a surprise for you.
Okay.
Jeff and I are about 95% sure we have found the place for the wedding.
Oh.
And I'm not going to mention it yet because we haven't booked it. We just, it's available. We went to see it yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. So I got some news,
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So once we've got it booked and it's, like it's all set, I'll feel comfortable mentioning it on air, but I just want to wait, make sure that we get the venue that we wanted. So,
very nice.
So good news. So I know at the end of the show we'll talk about what's coming up. But so how are you doing, Miss Seed?
Miss Seed, yes, I'm actually down a few more pounds. I was about 4. So it's a slow and steadier week, but I'm doing very well. Again, like I said, I've eliminated the shake. I still splurge on the weekends, but every single day I'm back and forth between the seed products that I'm working with, which is very simple. I'm drinking down this little seed product that is like a liquidy, almost tastes like a peppermint. I drink it down in the morning like that. And then I have my breakfast, because now I don't have the shake, so I have a breakfast. And then probably around 2:30, I get that little hunger feeling, and I have another little, it's not even a shake, it's just, I just, boom, it's done.
A shot?
Yeah, it's like a little
Bourbon,
shot.
Scotch?
It's just this little amount. And that actually, I don't know if people, it tastes like pomegranate, but I like pomegranate, so it's perfect. Because some of those things that you take, it can be really nasty.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that. And it's not just the weight loss, it's like the feeling, like a better sleep, better like waking up, the energy. And the one thing I like is that I'm not taking in, like, I have caffeine because I love my coffee, but it's not a product with like caffeine or inhibitors that are going to make me get all jolted, you know. It's just the natural seeds.
Well,
So that's pretty good. How
yeah.
about you? You've come down a bit too.
Well, you know, so of course the audience was following my 30-day challenge. And at the beginning of my 30-day challenge, you know, at the end of my 30-day challenge, I had lost 19 pounds in 30 days, which was respectable. And then at the 60-day mark, I was down, I think, 28 pounds, I think was what it was. And then I just did a weigh-in at 65 days. Now, this is always the funny thing, because you'll lose weight and then you plateau, and you lose weight and you plateau. So at 65 days, I'm down 35 pounds.
Very good.
And I really love the program. If anybody wants information on it, you can contact me at Dr. Kevin at my Dr. Kevin. I like it. I've gone into a modified maintenance, so I do shakes, 1 to 2 shakes a day. Replace 1 to 2 meals a day with shakes. Some days I eat 2 meals. Some days on weekends, oftentimes I'll eat all 3 meals, you know, because I'm not going to go crazy. I want something I can live with.
Yes.
And my blood pressure has gone down. You know, it was tap dancing a little higher than it should have been, and now it's perfect. Sleeping better, feeling better, more energy. Yeah. I would, you know, when I was doing my presentations, you know, in the boots that I wore a few weeks ago, my big Celtic
yeah,
boots.
your big boots, yeah.
My big boots, yeah. You should have seen me doing high kicks on that stage.
Mr. Entertainer.
So, yep, it's going really good. I'm really happy. 65 days, 35 pounds. And, you know, and I'm doing it in a way that it's going to stay off. And still doing the journaling twice a day. So, with that being said, let's move on to
journaling.
To the journaling. Yeah, what? They do it, that I'm journaling twice a day?
No, journaling is good for you.
Oh, yeah.
We all work with journaling.
Yeah. You know, and of course, I'm doing my morning coffee. For those of you who have never seen my morning coffee, you want to come to My Dr. Kevin. That's facebook.com/My Dr. Kevin. Every day I put out this. You see them because I tag you.
Happy
and
pictures, happy little morning openings.
And I will draw a tarot card or a rune or an angel card or a goddess card or whatever. I started working with the Russian Gypsy fortune telling cards.
I love that deck.
Oh my God, the imagery is fabulous in it. It's so different.
It's very different.
Well, somebody gave me who may be coming to our expo, our Web of Light expo, I gave him a packet. She has done her own tarot deck, and she's spending a year of having people buy the deck. She had some there. She gave me one actually to use in my morning coffee. And she's doing focus groups on Facebook and stuff like that to write the book to go with the deck. And then she's going to release the deck. The book.
Nice.
So I should have brought it in. I'll bring it in one of our future shows, but I'm going to.
It's kind of a funny thing because I'm working on one of those too.
You're working on a deck?
Yes, I am.
Clear the decks. So.
But I haven't mentioned it's not a tarot deck. It's going to be a.
Get a clue deck.
Oh,
that would be my deck. Get a clue deck. Go ahead.
It's just an inspirational deck, I guess is what I'm going to call it. But it's going to have a lot of good messages and a lot of ways to meditate.
Okay.
Relax.
Good.
Zone.
So yeah, I think I should do the get a clue deck. I think that has Dr. Kevin written all over it. You know.
That would work. Yes.
You pick up a card that says, so today someone has irritated you. Get a clue. What did you do wrong? I think that works. Doesn't that work? So I'm thinking I'm going to have these. I want to have these young ladies that did the deck on the show to talk about, you know, what made them to do a tarot deck and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we're also talking about having them on the show. But what I was saying was my morning coffee. So I do a morning coffee with a bunch of pictures, draw these things, and then there is a message that I put out for the day. And like today, I got the angel Haniel, who is the angel of friendship and all loving and harmonious relationships. And the message was, are you being a good friend? Because when you're being a good friend, you have good friends. And it's good friends that get you through when life becomes challenging. So there's always pictures, messages, stuff like that. So are you ready to move on to the words of wisdom?
I'm ready to do it.
You're ready to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, quiet please,
Quote
quiet.
of the day.
Miss Angie D'Anjou now will do quote of the day.
So this quote of the day is here today because of our special guest that we have. And I'm going to start with the quote. And the quote is, "You can't get very far until you start doing something for somebody else." And this quote came from Melvin Jones, and he was the founder of the Lions Club International. And the Hudson Lions Club is one of the largest and most active clubs in New Hampshire. And it's been serving our community since 1947. They empower their members to meet humanitarian needs. They encourage peace, and they promote international understanding. And the Hudson Lions Club itself promotes a variety of town and local community activities. And they also, they do a lot. The things that the Hudson Lions Club do, they recycle for site programs. They have Operation Kids Site, a peace poster contest in the Hudson schools. And they also, for those Hudson residents around here, they are the ones that host Santa's arrival on the Hudson Town Common. And the organization volunteers. They also promote some of the local Red Blood Cross drives. And they run, and this is the one that I love, they run benefits for the Lions Camp Pride, which is located in Durham, New Hampshire. So I am going to ask him to kind of reflect on all of this that Melvin did and started. Well,
And I think that there's a lot of truth to. We've so much now run into a very entitled and selfish mentality so often in this country, and I am not attaching this to a generation. And if somebody says, "Oh, Dr. Kevin said this current generation is selfish and entitled," no. Humanity is selfish and entitled in this country right now, and it's funny because there is that balance of you still can get people to rally. There's a flood, there's a hurricane, there's a tsunami, there's a crisis, there's a shooting, and you get some people will put it aside for a few minutes to get together. But there is still a very strong contingent that's all about what's in it for me. What's in it for me? What do I get out of it? And my question is, well, what did you put into it? Mm-hmm. What did you put into it? What did you put into it that you should get something back? And you know what? We have a number of different, people that have reasons or excuses why they should be entitled to something without having to do the work, without having to participate. And I'm a firm believer, when I have clients come, if they're struggling or, if they're struggling with depression or with money or they're just, they're struggling with being lonely, I'm going, well, when was the last time you volunteered? When was the last time you went out and did something for the community? I don't even know if I could face a person. Didn't go to the animal shelter. Cuddle a cat. Probably you'll get more out of it than the cat will. But cuddle a cat anyways. Take a dog for a walk. Do something. It is within the human nature that when we are giving and we are doing for others, it will actually improve our natures. It will improve our moods. It improves and clears up our thought processes. It stimulates our immune system. We are healthier and happier when we are doing service. Now, I had this conversation this weekend with one of one of the people that came to me for a session at Celebrate Samhain. Service is not servitude. To serve is not to be a slave. They're very different things. Service is supporting somebody from an open heart, without judgment, but also there can be some boundaries that need to be set. And there are people that will freely and willingly and consistently take advantage of anybody who will do something for them. And so it's always, there's a thing about service of, serve serve those who deserve, and let those who are constantly in need of service, let them serve as well. So, any thoughts on my thoughts?
I think you pretty much wrapped that all up.
Okay.
But I'm happy I'm going to be introducing, actually we have 2 guests today. And they both come from the Hudson Lions Club and the Hudson Lions International. I'm going to start out with the lovely lady that does the psychic fairs twice a year here in Hudson.
You mean the ones that didn't invite me? I'm just saying. Go ahead. Keep on going.
Next time.
We're going to introduce Jerry Maynard and Jerry Vaccaro. And they're delightful people to have around because they always are supporting their communities. And I actually am one of the psychics. I've been invited. At the semi-annual Hudson Lions Psychic Fair, and that's coming up Saturday,
29th.
October 29th. So we're down at the Lions Ave.
Lions at the Hudson Community Center.
Community Center. And so I'm just going to start out. I'm actually going to start with Jerry with an I because that's where we started to go here. Because we have 2 Jerrys, so that's going to be a little bit complex. I'm going to start out with Jerry with an I.
Well,
I'm going to ask you, how did you all say, hey, I think we'll have a psychic fair to do a nonprofit?
It actually started in the early 2000s. I'm not sure exactly how many years, but it's been over 10, by the Hudson Nottingham West Lions Club, which eventually merged with the Hudson Lions Club. We had our psychic fair as a fundraiser. It was very popular. We expanded it to twice a year. In the beginning, there were a couple of skeptics that said, that's not right, that's not a lion thing, it doesn't meet our philosophy. So we petitioned Lions International, or not petitioned, but consulted with them, and they said, it's fine, it certainly does, so go ahead. So we've had the semi-annual psychic fair since that time, twice a year. The fall one is always very popular because of the season, I believe. And then we have it in the spring, usually late April, beginning of May. And I think that goes along with one of the holidays that the psychics participate in May.
Beltane?
Beltane.
Beltane.
Yeah, I wasn't sure of the name.
Yeah.
So we have a variety of psychics that come. They do palm reading, they do angel readings, they're mediums. There's a variety. So somebody to suit everybody's wishes. Angie is one of our psychics. She's been there for a long time. And we look forward to having new people come all the time. So you definitely are invited.
I'm making it work here.
No, that's fine. You are invited.
No.
Just
We're going to put him in a little corner someplace.
put him in the corner.
Well, you know, I just figured that they heard my reputation as the psychic sledgehammer, so it was the Cowardly Lion Club. That's why they didn't invite me.
No,
I mean, you know.
no.
No, I know. I'm only back in the area recently, and so I'm just teasing you.
Well, I expect to see you there on the 29th. How's that?
Actually, I'm working another event on the 29th at this point.
Well, we'll keep you in
It's
mind.
always next year.
There's
we'll
always
keep you
like
in
next year.
mind for the spring.
Now, I was thinking that I was just going to call her Jerry, and I'm going to call him JV because he's Jerry Vaccaro. And I thought, hey, JV. I thought that would be cool.
It's appropriate.
Yeah, junior varsity.
Junior
She's
varsity.
the varsity.
She's varsity. He's junior varsity. There we go. So, have you run the event since the very first time that the
No,
guys did it?
actually, Wanda Hancock. Do you remember Wanda? Wanda Hancock
a lovely
started
lady.
it.
That's
And then
one
it
of our
went,
beautiful
moved over
people.
to Ida, and then Ida got really busy with her work schedule. So I took it over.
You inherited it?
I inherited it. You're right. Yeah.
There you go. Well, and I think that's really great. I mean, I know that JV over here is going to talk to us more about the history of the Lions Club a little bit and educate our viewers on what exactly the Lions Club did. Because I would be very surprised if there's anybody out there that has not heard of the Lions Club. but hearing of the Lions Club and knowing that there's something called the Lions Club and really knowing what they do are two very different things. And so I'm excited to hear more about exactly what this organization does. But it gets big kudos that it didn't do judgment. It didn't do judgment that,
No, not at all.
that the psychic, that they shouldn't do a psychic fair or something like that. So I'm already liking you guys.
I'll tell you that a lot of the people that come because they know that some of the funds that come from that psychic fair, half of the funds that come from that psychic fair, go to our community projects. The psychics come, and I'm not going to say they volunteer their time, but I'm sure they do these readings at a very low cost. It's because we are a charitable organization, and they say that all the time. I hear that all the time. We like to come to this one because we know it's going to go somewhere that it's needed.
And I'll back that. She actually, throughout the years, very qualified, professional. I like to call them spiritual consultants myself.
Okay.
Sometimes, because that's what we truly are. But very professional, very qualified, very positive. That's what they bring to the plate at these
They do.
psychic
They
fairs.
do bring a lot of
And all of
positivity.
us that are there, it's actually one of the most rewarding of our nonprofits for me anyway, and I know others have said the same.
They have.
Because we know how the Lions really get in there and help out community, big time.
Yeah. So for our viewers, though, I do want to put something out there because I understand the connection, but part of our show is to educate and share and inform with people. So Beltane as a pagan holiday is a time when sometimes there's a little bit more energy. You're talking about spring, but in of itself, spring is a time of renewal when people are like, hey, the summer's coming and I'm feeling invigorated and maybe I'd like a little peek into my future like that. But you would find that probably less than half of your readers would qualify themselves as pagans. So just because it's very interesting because people associate that if you're a pagan, if you're a psychic, you're a pagan. And they're really two very different things. And I know people that do readings that are Catholics and that are
definitely, yes.
all the different things. So I know that somebody out there watching this would be like, so does that mean all psychics are pagans? No, not all psychics are pagans. But on pagan holidays, there does tend to be, because it follows the seasons and certain things, more interest in those kind of events. I just wanted to clarify that.
Well, to tell you the truth, they've never used the term a pagan festival. They've just said that there's something out there in May that
Yeah. Well, and May Day actually is a whole pagan thing. The maypole was the maypole was originally a fertility ritual.
you are educating.
Well, yeah,
I thought it was something for the school children to dance around.
No, the maypole was originally about fertility, asking that there would be good crops in the spring and that, that couples would mate, and, this is the whole thing about getting married in the spring and stuff, all very pagan, existed long before the current kind of cleaned up and spiffed up and made all pretty by a Hallmark card presentation of it. But so it's very interesting. So Jerry, tell us about the Lions Club a little bit.
Okay, Lions is celebrating their 100th year. We started in 1917 in Chicago. Melvin Jones started it back then. We have in our district here 35 clubs, and they all cater to their communities. And that's primarily what we do. We have fundraisers. We have a lot of fun doing it, and all the money goes back to the communities. And this is what we do in our club does, and the 35 clubs in District 44H. Again, we're represented in 204 different countries, 1.4 million members, and we do a lot of nice things out there all throughout the world. Getting back to here, we have a KidSight program. You mentioned it earlier. We're testing children from $100,000 worth of equipment for eye defects with a screener, and we've done probably 5,000 or 6,000 children so far from ages 6 months to 6 years. So that's one of the primary things that we do out there in the community. We have a Sight and Hearing Foundation that gives out commodity dollars to the needy for hearing aids and eye operations that the local clubs cannot support, so we have a foundation that supports that. And you mentioned Camp Pride, a special needs camp for children and adults that need special handling. We rent this facility out. There's 21 buildings on Merry Meeting Lake, and it's a gorgeous lake, and we encourage people who are in special need groups that come see us, and we work out things with that group. We have the Health Service Board, again, that's mentioned in the KidSight program, that test people locally for eye defects and have supply them with eyeglasses.
Well, my fiance works with people with special needs. He's a job coach and a job developer and helps, on the community. And I used to work with people with special needs as well. And that's just, that's such good work. And it's so needed. And, so often, even today, we see that there's a way of separation or isolation that can happen at times with people with special needs. Like people don't want to, almost like they're contagious. You still see it. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it's kind of like, and so that's great. I'm really interested in a little bit more of the history. I'm a little bit of a history buff. So, what was Melvin's driving force? What was the original vision statement? What was the connection? Why Lion?
Well, back in 1917, Melvin Jones was a community lawyer, and he had a number of friends, and they said, we got to do more for the community. So they had their first meeting, and they established, again, back in Chicago, and it grew and grew and grew to small little clubs, and eventually, in 1925, they had a convention, and Helen Keller came to that convention. And the driving force right now is she asked for help back then, and since 1925, our drive has been involved in sight. And we've replaced glasses, operations, et cetera, going on for the last 75 years because of that. And the history there goes on, and in 30 years later, Helen Keller came, and we were in over 100 countries at that time trying to eradicate the diseases of eyesight. She thanked us, and she called us the Knights of the Blind. So it's from that point on, we grew to 208 countries, and we do a lot of things with catastrophes now. Just recently in the Hurricane Matthew down in North Carolina and Asia, in the Caribbean, LCI, Lions Club International Foundation, is supplying dollars to that communities down there and helping through their clubs, local clubs, putting out dollars to help those people down there. And we do that all throughout the world when there's a national catastrophe.
What is do you have somewhere the vision or mission statement of the Lions Club? Because I'm sure that they have to have one. I mean, an organization of this size, around 100 years.
I wish I knew it by heart. We have a mission statement, and you asked me a question that I'm not prepared for.
Oh,
but
didn't mean to do that. That's all right.
I think it's in that book.
it is.
We do have a sheet
Yeah,
of
we
history
do have it
for
right
you.
here. I'm sorry, I do have it.
Well, I think it's fascinating. Obviously Helen Keller is a figure to be admired, and there's a lot of
My Helen Keller pen.
Helen Keller pin. There's a lot of overcoming, and of course, as Papa always said to me, there are none so blind as those who choose not to see.
Well, from the blind, working with the blind, we expanded into diabetes and diabetes awareness. As he mentioned, we do hearing now. We were instrumental in helping the Measles Project. Where was that? That was in Africa.
Yeah.
And also river blindness, which people weren't aware of. We sponsored shots so the children, there was a bacteria, I guess it's a bacteria in the waters that would get into the eyes and the children would go blind. We sponsored shots for them so that wouldn't happen to them.
Actually, we eradicated the river blindness down in the Central American area by supplying pills and screens to cover the children,
Yeah.
because that's dealt with the mosquito infection of the waters. And this medication was given to them, and we actually the disease was gone, and we're doing a lot of nice things down there.
So that's our international. Here in New Hampshire, he mentioned the North Carolina flooding, but when we had that terrific hurricane a few years back, New Hampshire got grants from international, but the clubs all stepped in too and helped those people on the other side. In fact, one of the ladies that was in that died in that was a lion, in that hurricane.
We gave over $10,000 to the New Hampshire twice in 2 years for people that are in need up there for the flooding situation. So that all came from Lions Club International.
I could ask, I do believe I remember the one with the water situation.
The western
And
part
I
of New
believe
Hampshire.
that one of the things that the Lions were doing was they were selling bottles of water.
We supply water, we do everything else, but we actually supplied towels, blankets, anything that they needed.
But there wasn't I know you had some kind of a drive in the area where people
Well,
could
when
buy
Katrina hit,
bottled waters.
we had truckloads of clothing and furniture and everything else that we drove. We had volunteers drive those trucks down to New Orleans. And that was New Hampshire, the Hudson Lions. In fact, it was on my lawn, one of the vans.
That's right.
One of the trailers that went down.
So, we're talking about what the Lions can do for the community and what they have done for the communities all through a lot of nations. But one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that if they have some spare time, if they're not sure of, I'm bored, I don't have anyone to be with, how do they come about figuring out, well, if I want to be a Lion, how do I do that?
Well, we have a membership chair, and I think you might have her telephone number. But there's Lions all through the community, and we have a blood drive coming up. We sponsor a blood drive at the White Birch. They want to come in there, there's going to be people there. In fact, I think our membership chair will be there. They can come in and get information there. They can come to the psychic fair, and there's always information out about the Lions at the psychic fair. We're very visible. This past Saturday, we were at Market Basket for our White Cane Day, which is a international symbol, and all that money goes into the foundation that he's talking about, the money that we collect. But for any of our events, we always have membership information out there.
There's one thing we should point out, that 100% of our dollars that we do through fundraising go back to the communities or international for the benefit of people who are in special needs and need that extra help. So the only admin money comes from our dues, which is very minimal, with $5 a month. So we're a very low-cost membership, and we do serve the community, and we have fun doing it. We have a number of different fundraisers that we laugh more of the time we're doing it, because it benefits us and it benefits them. I do have that mission statement. We'll get back to that.
Yeah, I want to hear that. But so I just want to clarify this, because in this day and age, that's such an important statement, and I want to make sure people heard it. 100% of administrative
Comes from our dues.
comes from the dues
That's good.
and not from the monies you raise. 100% of the monies you raise go to serve the local, national, and international community, but it goes to serve people.
That's
Right.
correct.
Oh, see, now that's the
If
kind
you-
of transparency.
if-
That's great.
If you look on the scale of all the fundraisers out there, organizations, we're in the top 3.
Yeah.
It's just overwhelming what we contribute and what we want to do to help communities all over the world. The mission statement. I gotta get there.
Yes.
Mission statement: to empower volunteers to serve their communities, meet humanitarian needs, encourage peace, promote international understanding through Lions Clubs. That's our motto. The vision statement of LCI is to be a global leader in community and humanitarian service. Also, I'd like to point out Lions, L-I-O-N-S. People think, it's lion. Well, it is actually a lion, but it's actually liberty, intelligence, our nation's safety.
That's what it stands for,
And that's what it
Lions.
stands for.
Liberty. Wait a second.
Liberty,
Intelligence.
our nation's
safety. Okay. But yet it's an international in 208 countries, was that the last number
That's
I heard?
correct. Yep.
208 countries? Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. Because I wasn't going to let that one go. I wanted to go back. Where did the lions come from? Where did lions come from? And of course, it was created as we were in World War I. World War I was
Yeah.
1917. Yep, World War I. We were
Yeah.
just getting into World War I because it was 17 to 19, I think. And then as it was evolving, it was gearing up to World War II. So that would make sense to me. That's where that comes from. Great vision and mission statement, though. We might actually be able to get that typed up onto the bottom of the screen. We have the best producer production team ever on our show. They bend over backwards to make sure that our show and our people get well represented.
May I continue?
Absolutely.
Okay. You talked about the peace poster. This is for youth, people from 11 years old to 13 years old, for the children all throughout the world. And what they do is they take a topic that we give them to LCI, and they draw beautiful pictures. And we have contests, and it's evaluated, and it actually goes back to Lions Clubs International in Chicago, and a volunteer, and it is selected, and then it goes on to the United Nations. So it's a great youth program, and it's global as well.
And the entries from our club come from the Memorial School, the art club. Mrs. Jan Walsh is the teacher there, and they usually submit 20 to 30 entries. We pick one at the psychic fair, they're displayed, and we pick the one that we're going to send from our club to represent our club. But then we award five awards at a ceremony after the fact to the top 5.
350,000 children participated last year worldwide. And it's a great little thing for kids to do. And we encourage all schools to be involved in it because it's just a reward. And they go to the United Nations if they win and get presented at that facility. The second thing I'd like to mention is that we have a soccer game. It's between the two states, Vermont and New Hampshire. This is going on for 43 years. It's a major fundraiser for our Sight and Hearing Foundation. And it takes the graduates of New Hampshire and Vermont, soccer players, both women and men, and we have a game, and last year was at Castleton University. Again, we give, it's a major fundraiser, and we give $6,000 each year, or average, to the Sight and Hearing Foundation, and they give the $6,000 to the Vermont charities. So it's one of the annual events that everyone looks forward to, and it's a great thing. Thank you for letting me mention that.
Yeah. So, it's often said that, so give me an idea, how much does the psychic fair usually, how much has it been raising?
Oh, we make 1,200, 1,300 or so.
Okay. So for those of you out there, I just have to put this out because I'm a troublemaker. So for those of out there that, have the issue with the fact of psychics involved with something like a community fundraiser organization, you can tell goodness by its works. And these psychics show up and semi-donate their time.
Basically, yes.
Yep, and they help raise money for the community. They put $1,200, whatever, over $1,000 in the pocket to do community things. So next time you want to take a pot shot about psychics being evil, those of you who may be watching the show, when was the last time you wrote a check to help the local community for $1,000? Get back to me on that, will you? So,
Great point.
hey, so I do have, I've already warned you I'm a troublemaker, so I do have a question. You're doing a blood drive.
Yes,
Everybody welcome?
of course.
Okay, so there's no, you can't be gay and give blood?
Oh, I don't know. That's the Red Cross. They
They have,
have a questionnaire.
they actually.
They have a
It's
questionnaire.
at the White Birch, and it's done monthly. And they have nurses in there, and you actually are tested prior to giving blood. So if there's an issue with low blood pressure or something, that person would be. But everybody's invited, believe me.
Yes, everyone's invited. They're more concerned
And they
right
have
now
great
whether
food
you've been
there,
in
too.
Florida or at the Zika.
They have great food too when they're waiting.
So how did, I'm very curious, and I don't mean this in any kind of like minimizing way, because I know that people see this show all over the country, all over the world.
They do.
Oh yeah, we get it out there and stuff like that. And so, you know, if you're not in Hudson, New Hampshire, where we're shooting it, I will tell you that the odds are really high that you have a Lions community in your community, a Lions club within your community.
Absolutely,
So search
yes.
out your local Lions club if you find what they're saying really interesting. Don't go, oh well, that's great for Hudson, New Hampshire, but you know, I'm in Cedar Rapids, Idaho. Or, you know, I'm in Camptown Races, Missouri. I don't know. But wherever, I'm willing to bet you that you're going to find that there's a Lions Club pretty close to you because you
I
guys
think
are.
one of the mottos is where there's a need, there's a lion.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Bringing that up, when if you're venturing down to Florida or any other state as a Lion, you call up the local Lion clubs and they'll invite you down and they'll wine and dine you because they love to see people from the other clubs all over the world, so and all over the country. So there's a lot of them out there.
Hey, free wine. Maybe I'll have to sign
Well,
up.
sometimes there's wine. Yeah.
I'm trying to watch the dining part, but the wine's still okay. No,
But it's education for them, and it's an education for the person that, you know, that goes in that club. They get a different tune.
So, and so where I was going with my other question was, how did Hudson become one of the largest? Because Hudson is not, I mean, you know, Manchester is much bigger, Nashua is bigger, Concord is bigger, Portsmouth is bigger, Keene is bigger. Hudson isn't in the top 10 largest cities in New Hampshire. How did it end up with the largest Lions Club, or one of the largest Lions Club?
I think people make friends.
Yeah.
And when you develop that friendship and you're doing certain projects or together and you invite other friends, it just snowballs to effect that, oh, I like doing that. So we have bingo every year, every month, and for a fundraiser. And the people involved in bingo are joining Lions because they enjoyed the. Yeah, so it just snowballs to that effect. The people within the club are very friendly, and we have a lot of, again, I mentioned it, we have a lot of fun in doing it. Leadership is part of it as well. We have a great many leaders in our club that not only lead our club, but lead in the district. I'm lucky enough to be voted in as a second vice district governor for the district. So then I move up to governor, and it's a very, and I have a family of Lions, and I just enjoy being there. So as a governor, you go out to their clubs and you present what International is doing, but you also present yourself as a Lion, helping their Lions do a better job.
So, you can jump in anytime you want. You know me, I get into question mode.
That's great.
So now you're a district. You're the district, vice district. You're
I'm
you're
a
in
second
charge.
vice district governor for District 44H. Our other district in New Hampshire is 44N, and they have a leadership of the same, the second, first, and then governor.
Okay, so you run all the vice programs for Lions.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But you're from the actual Hudson's Lion Club. Now, what Lions Club were you from originally?
The Hudson Lions.
Heinz. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't being district. You could have been originally from any of the Lions
Well, I'm
clubs
on
within
loan to the district.
You're on loan to the district. So we're going to have Lions clubs. Now, how many members are in the Hudson's Lions Club?
Over 100
We have
now.
101.
Over 100. So somewhere in Dubuque, somebody's going to be watching this who is a Lion, because we're going to tag Lions, and you know, we're going to be putting it out there. And maybe their club is struggling, and you have a very successful club. What words of wisdom or advice would you give a town that maybe doesn't have a Lions Club, or has a Lions Club that's having a hard time getting members or keeping members? Share some wisdom with these people about how to help build their
That was
Lions
his
Club.
job last year.
Yeah, well, actually, leadership, but membership. We established new clubs by actually going out to the community. And we walk the streets, go to the Chamber of Commerce, Fire Department, Police Department, and we get those people involved quickly because they know everybody in the town basically, and they give us names, and we actually invite them to a little 1-hour session of donut, and we present what we are as Lions. And these sessions continue, and they, again, people come in off the community to this meeting, and they said, this is great, and they bring in other people, and that's how we start a club. Now, to the leadership part of a club, trying to get new members, they have to be incented to go out and ask, just ask. If I went up to you and said, you live in Hudson, or live wherever you are, you can become a Lion in Hudson Club. You don't have to live in Hudson. So the point is, just ask anybody that you feel that would be beneficial to your club. And we do a lot of that.
Give him the example of one of the last members that we got at
from
Walmart. He was
Walmart.
working at Walmart. He
I was-
asked what we were doing, and he's a member now.
I went into Walmart, and this gentleman was very, very helpful. And I looked at him, I said, would you like to come to a club meeting, Lions Club meeting? He goes, what's that? And I explained the whole story. He came. Now he's one of the, he does his own little activity, he does all the cleanup of the streets.
Road cleanup.
Road cleanup. And he got really involved in it. And again, it's a family. Once you get involved in it, you just love it. You really do.
So if anybody out there wants some more information, there's lionsclub.org, which I know will be at the bottom of the screen. And I'm betting, as I was raised to say, dollars to donuts, that if you contacted lionjerryvaccaro@gmail.com about anything to do with the Lions Club, even if you're from Anchorage, Alaska, that he would be more than happy to answer your questions, give you guidance, some insight, and probably try to see if he could recruit you for Hudson, New Hampshire.
Lions actually is a great training facility for new leaders and membership. I'm attending what they call advanced leadership training in Houston next month, and you apply to that, and everybody that's around all throughout the world, but right now in our district, the Houston area. And we're always learning about leadership, membership, and how to promote Lionism throughout the world. So it's still going on.
We're going to be heading in to wrap up. Do you have any last questions?
No, I don't have questions.
Can I add a last comment? You mentioned our Santa's arrival, which is the day after Thanksgiving. We do sponsor a program at the community center. Santa arrives at the Common, and once the lights are lit, he comes over to the community center. There's arts and crafts for the kids. They get to sit on Santa's lap. Yeah. And we will be doing vision screening at that time. So I know a lot of the preschools and the elementary school children have been screened, but we've screened adults. Last year we screened over 60 some odd people at the Santa's arrival. So that's something that's going to be going on. Santa's arrival is absolutely free. We have different organizations that help us out by, providing cookies and crafts, and it's a fun day. And that's usually in the afternoon.
I'd like to point out the screening part of it with the children. Once you do a screening to the child, it just takes seconds. And if there's an issue, we have a computer write out, and we do not, as Lions, we're just screening them. We pass this on to the nurse. The nurse then go to the parents and say, your children has a little imperfection in their eyesight. So they then go to an ophthalmologist and figure out what the matter is. We've proven that this test between 6 months and 6 years, if there is a defect, it's easier at that time period to fix that problem and actually save eyesight in many ways. We've detected many different issues for that child, so it's a good thing.
Okay, so we want to thank Jerry with an I, Jerry with a Y, the Lions Club. One more time, you can Ms. D'Anjou will look into what is in your future. What do you wish for? The semi-annual Psychic Fair, Saturday, October 29th, 10 to 4, located at the Hudson Community Center, 12 Lions Ave, Hudson. Lions of Hudson, since 1947, we jump through hoops to serve our community. This is a great fundraising event. It's a way to come in, do something different, do something fun, maybe something you do on a regular basis, and know that your dollars are being put back into the community, and it's helping the community that you live in. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you again.
Yeah, and so now you can understand why we love going and helping out.
Well, that's only if
Lions.
you're invited.
They're very inviting.
So what else do you have coming up before the end of the month?
Actually, we're going to be having doing a lot of nonprofit stuff. This is my time for that as well. So I'm going to be with the American Legion up in Salem, New Hampshire next Saturday, the 22nd. We're going to have a fundraiser for the American Legion out of Salem, which again, that's another space like the Lions that does a lot for community. And then the following weekend, of course, I'll be with the Lions.
Saturday.
Saturday,
You're with me
the 29th.
Sunday.
I'm with you on Sunday for part of the day
Part of the day.
because I will be doing some tea leaf readings up in an inn
Oh.
in the earlier part of the
Now,
day.
now you're telling me. So, anyways, next on Sunday, October 23rd, I will be at the Holistic Self-Care Center on 12 Murphy Drive in Nashua, New Hampshire, and I will be doing a crystal show. There will be about 10 or 12 tables, 6-foot tables, not tiny tables, 6 foot, 10 or 12 of them, full of crystals, 12 to 5 on that Sunday. Stop by, say hi. I might even be open to doing a reading or two while I'm there, I'm thinking.
Well, I'm looking. I also don't want you to forget anyone that's interested. Watch for our gatherings because we've been doing some drumming circles.
Yep.
They usually come once a month on a Monday sometimes, so watch for that on the website.
If you are in the Nashua, Hudson, Manchester, all the way to Concord area, we have people that come down to us from Fitchburg, Mass. to attend our monthly drumming circle, Gathering in Spirit. You can come request to be included, facebook.com/Gathering in Spirit, or we have a meetup group. So we do a monthly drumming. We would love to see you there if drumming is your thing. Also, the last weekend of October, we are doing a psychic fair 2-day extravaganza in the Newington, New Hampshire at the Fox Run Mall at Shuman Stream Gifts. I will be there Saturday. Angie will be part of Sunday. I don't know whether I'm there Sunday or not. But so you can come down Saturday, come down Sunday. You can catch us both there. Also on this Monday the 24th, also at the Holistic Self-Care Center, I am doing my class on ghosts. If you don't catch it at the Holistic Self-Care Center, I do have a ghost DVD. I've been in relationship with ghosts since I was 8, and I have been clearing haunted houses since the late 70s. And you can also catch it as one of my online classes, because I do online classes every week now. If you want more information about that, Dr. Kevin, DrKevin, at mydrkevin.com. Send me an email and I will send you a list. All my classes are also available for replay if you don't make them live. And we have an event, birthday weekend.
Oh, we definitely do, which we started out Web of Light Expo. The Web of Light Expo is going to be having about 149 vendors, 20 psychics, 30 presentations, beautiful weekend.
Yep. Geared towards empowerment, alternative health, wellness. There's going to be educational pieces. We are there to expand your reality and your consciousness.
Yeah, full weekend.
Full weekend. It's a full weekend. In fact, we're going to have a drumming circle that night, and that evening.
I have to remind our guest don't make your psychic fair the 22nd of April.
All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't. Yeah. Because all the best psychics in the area are gonna be tied up. You'll only get the leftovers. So on that note, as we get ready to close down, community is the place where we connect. Community is the place where we come together and we share our dreams, our visions. We share our challenges and our hopes. Community is that which stands with you when you need help, stands in front of you when you need guidance, and stands behind you when you need support. When you reach out to community, it is a give and take. There are times when you will take from the community when you are in need, and there are times you will give to the community. Today we've had on the Lions Club. It knows all about community. It knows all about giving to the community. And what it takes is it takes you to get involved with something like that to make your community a better place. Namaste.